welcome you to the Borough Council meeting of the Borough of Peapack And Gladstone. It is August 19, 2025. It is now 7:01 p.m. and I'm calling this meeting to order, please. Nancy, would you read the sunshine notice?
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of the 2025 meeting dates was published in the Courier News and the Burnsville News on July 10, 2025, and posted at the Municipal Complex. Action may be taken.
Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I'm doing it now. If you would silence your cell phones, I would appreciate it. I'd like to start out this meeting tonight with a remembrance to our friend John Sweeney. It is, in my view, the most important item that I want for tonight. So if you just bear with me and follow the process, I appreciate it. I'd like to ask everyone to please take a few minutes with me to honor the life and enduring legacy of our Council President, John L. Sweeney. Though our hearts are heavy with loss, they are also full of gratitude for the years we shared, for the memories we cherished, and for the example of a life well lived. John was above all a family man, devoted to his loving wife Karen and 4 children, Connor, Devin, Lauren, and Pierce. And I'll point out that Connor and Karen are with us this evening, as well as to the well-being of the Peapack and Gladstone community. For nearly 2 decades, he served with unwavering dedication as a councilman and as a borough council president. He led not for recognition, but from a profound sense of responsibility. He believed that true leadership was an act of service and that every decision should be guided by a commitment to the common good. And indeed, that is true. It has correctly been said that the council is a family unto itself. The 7 of us elected officials, along with our administrator, Nancy, and our staff, as well as our borough attorney, Steve Warner, make up that family. We all work closely and passionately together. No doubt we lost one of our own with John's passing, and he will be so very missed by all. His colleagues and constituents alike knew John as a thoughtful listener and as a tireless advocate. He approached every challenge with integrity and compassion, always seeking solutions that would uplift, unite, and keep our small community the great place that it is. John's community was not limited to council chambers. As an estate and trust attorney, he worked for his clients with diligence and honor. It is known in the church community that John was often approached to do work pro bono for those who could not afford it. And he did so willingly and without question. Not only on the council level, but at every level, John rarely, if ever, said no. He was always open to taking on one more task, one more project, and one more responsibility, and no one knows that better than me. John's commitment to service extended beyond his professional roles. He served as a coach for many years and as a church volunteer at St. Bridget's and in the Knights of Columbus. He was a fixture at 9:30 a.m. Mass and gave his time and heart to his faith community, embodying the values of kindness and humility. Whether organizing events, lending a hand to those in need, or simply offering a word of encouragement, John's presence was a blessing to all who knew him. Perhaps his greatest joy, however, was found in his family. As a loving father, John nurtured with wisdom and warmth. He celebrated every milestone, offering steady guidance through life's uncertainties, and showed by example what it meant to love unconditionally. His children were and remain his proudest legacy. Today, as we reflect on John's life, we remember not just his accomplishments, but the character that animated everything he did. His laughter at gatherings, his quiet words of reassurance, his unwavering moral compass, These are the gifts he leaves behind, imprinted on the hearts of all who loved him. Let us not dwell only on our sorrow, but on the gratitude we feel for having walked life's path alongside John Sweeney. Let us honor his memory by carrying forward his spirit of service, his love of family, and his community, a commitment to community. May John's soul rest in peace, and may his legacy continue to inspire all of us. I shall miss my friend and council president very much. We all here shall miss John so very, very much. Thank you for listening. I'd like to first invite my fellow council members and colleagues, if you'd like to add a comment or something to say regarding John's legacy, and I know I'm catching you off guard, but that's what I meant to do. And so, would anybody have...
I'll say something.
I'll join you on that.
Yeah, so, I'm so sorry. John and I ran together on each ballot together for 3 years, and I was so intimidated by him. The first time we ran, I was like, oh my God, I'm a liberal Dem. And he is not. And I was just so intimidated to be on council with him when we got elected together. And meanwhile, he became my closest ally, my closest friend on council. And we worked together a ton. And we worked hard, lots of meetings, and he made every meeting joyful. And we giggled, and we had fun, and we worked hard. And we had the same goals with land preservation and a living wage for our workers. And we just got along so well. And I just will miss him dearly on council, and his institutional knowledge that he's shared with all of us. I feel like, I told Connor this just a few minutes ago, I just feel like I am the council person that I am, partly because of John Sweeney. And I'm so thankful, and I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sorry. That's it. We held together.
Anyone else?
I'll say a few words. I am going to miss this guy sitting right next to me, and he was caught on camera many times saying a little something funny in my ear. And I know people watching at home saw me like, what was he saying? What were you laughing about? Just whatever. I'm going to miss just having him and like Jamie said, the institutional knowledge he had is just unbelievable. And he's just someone who will live on in our hearts and will continue to be like what would John, kind of questions, like answering a question, what would John have thought? What would John have thought about that? And there's very few people in my life that I'm like, there are about 3 people in my life that I think back to, what would so-and-so think about this? And John's one of those people that I actually want to know, what would he think about this?
Thank you.
He'll be very missed.
Thank you.
I'll also say something. And my heart's beating 1,000 miles an hour because I met John almost to the week, to the day, 2 years ago. And John was one of the most knowledgeable, smartest human beings I've ever met. Not only was he smart, but he was always willing to go above and beyond and give me a private call or email me saying, hey, you're doing it wrong, you should fix it. You're doing this, let's be a little bit more proactive. And let me tell you, but the thing I'll take away is the fact that he did it with just such genuine approach, care, and he made me still feel respected about what I was doing. And that's a characteristic that you can't really instill in people. It's just a natural gift. Whether it was here on council or just texting me privately about, hey, how's your son doing in wrestling? I sat with him and actually my middle son asked about Mr. Sweeney, and he felt, because he was, last time we saw him was at, Final X, and we sat together, and he was always so welcoming to me. In the 2 years, he's definitely inspired me, made me a better human being professionally, and the true character of service. Unbelievable human being. I'm very sorry for your loss.
I don't know how you get to be this age and you end up with a mentor. It's something that didn't really even cross my mind. And yet I realized the more that I was working with John, the more appreciation I had for him as a man, and what he brought to council, and his knowledge and his kindness and his beautiful heart. And it was funny, you know, one day I went to an ENT doctor appointment, and I walk in and there he was. And I was like, wow, this is interesting, you know, like we're both at the same place at the same time, and I didn't know him well, and I'm like, this is kismet. We're meant to be here, and we're gonna sit there and talk and talk and talk. And sure enough, we both waited for over 40 minutes, and we formed this like instant bond, I think, and just, I had such an immense appreciation for him, and I was very blessed to serve on a number of, you know, committees with him. And I thought to myself, every time I would go to a meeting, I'm excited to go. What am I gonna learn from John today? You know, this is like how you become a good council person, through seeing how others also hold honor to the position. And I'm so grateful for your family and for what you contribute and for sharing your wonderful husband and father with us. So thank you.
I'll jump in if I may. I only had a couple of years to know John, and what a tremendous privilege and honor it has been, and will continue to be, as I think about his memory. He was very welcoming. We had a fair amount of things in common, we still do. I may be the attorney for this borough, and there will be other attorneys in the future for this borough, but this borough will never have a better attorney than John Sweeney on this borough, and had the benefit of having him as given service as a councilman and council president as well. As I said to Mark and others, John was two things that are, each of which is very rare, and I don't know many people, if any, that are both. And that is, John was a great man, but John was also a good man. And you don't find that combination in one person, if ever. And again, my condolences. The apple did not fall far from the tree.
As you know.
I don't know you that well, but I think I know you well enough. So, my condolences again, but we're all blessed and privileged.
I'll close this out. I'll try not to cry, to be honest, while waiting. I don't think I can. I'll talk to you afterwards, Eric, but he made a profound impact on me. Almost very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all.
I'm good.
Thank you all. I want you all to know that, as I'm sure the Sweeney family has, the borough received an outpouring of condolences and appreciation for who John was. I brought a couple examples down from people I know. I'm gonna read you one of them. From somebody who really didn't know John because he just took a job a few weeks ago. Okay? Dear Mayor Corigliano and members of the Borough Council, on behalf of Bill St. Bernard School, I extend our condolences on the passing of John Sweeney. Though I did not have the privilege of knowing him personally, his years of service marked by principled leadership, civic dedication, and deep care for his neighbors have left an enduring imprint on the life of Peapack and Gladstone. Please know that our thoughts are with you and the community during this time of loss. And this comes from Delvin Bikine, who's the new head of school at the Okay, and then I got most of the neighbors called me. But one mayor who I really don't know so well wrote me a short letter. This is Mayor Jason Soleno. He's the mayor in Denellen, and I believe he's the youngest mayor in New Jersey currently. He's in his late 20s. As fellow elected officials in Legislative District 21, I wanted to write on behalf of myself and the Denellen Borough Council to express our heartfelt condolences to you. The entire borough of Peapack and Gladstone and the Sweeney family, on the passing of Council President John Sweeney, our thoughts and prayers are with you during this difficult time. These are just two, many phone calls, many emails from good friends and people who knew John very well and worked with him. John, I'd like to think, is not gone from us. His spirit will always be with us, and like Eric, I think used the right phrase. He had a profound impact on me as well, not only as a colleague but as a friend. And like I said, I shall miss him greatly. I would, to conclude, I would like everyone to please join me in a moment of silence in memory of our friend John Sweeney. Karen, do you have anything you wish to add to our thoughts?
I just want to say thank you for everyone's kind words. Like my father would talk a lot about all of you individually, and he only ever had kind things to say. And I'm really grateful that you were able to share these stories, since it's something you don't always hear until an unfortunate event like this happens. My father obviously had a very profound impact on my life. I'm only here because of him. But I'm very blessed to hear that he had a profound impact on so many other people. So thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to our next item of business. Public comments on non-agenda items.
Oh, we did a roll call.
I didn't do roll
Oh, you
call.
didn't do roll call yet? Oh, I'm sorry. That went out of order.
We did. Yeah,
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Murphy.
Here.
Councilman Portello.
Here.
Councilman Silva.
Here.
Councilwoman Sueda.
Aye.
Councilwoman Weibel.
Here.
Mayor Corleone.
Here. Okay. Public comments on non-agenda items, 3 minutes per person, please. And is there any public comments on any matter or issue that the public or residents wish to address the council on? Seeing none, I'll close public comments. Let's move on to old business. Let's first of all talk about the tennis courts. Jamie.
So, we're moving ahead, as you saw on the agenda tonight, to create the 2 tennis courts and 2 pickle courts right here at the municipal building. So hopefully that's going to move forward. And so we just have to discuss what we're going to do with the existing dilapidated tennis courts over on Conline. There's the tennis courts and there's also the hitting wall. So we have to decide, what we're going to do with that. My thought is to demolish the tennis courts because there's no use in having broken down tennis courts, right? It's a hazard for people to trip on. So I would say that the smartest thing would be to get rid of those. The hitting wall, I feel like it's going to look a little funny standing out there on its own, but it's useful, and I don't see really why. I mean, people use it for lacrosse, people use it for other reasons. So I don't see a need to immediately get rid of that. Like, see if it continues to get used standing alone. But I'm obviously open to discussion about that.
So I do think, I agree, we should remove the tennis court. I brought this up, and I already spoke with Brad. They can take care of it, no problem. We'll put grass in there. I had the same thought for the hitting wall. I thought we could replace a hitting wall by the basketball court, just a wall at the court. I don't know if it makes sense to keep the hitting wall there, just standalone in the field. But I have no strong opinion.
Right. I mean, there's a part of me, I don't think it would be a big cost difference to leave it there, and then we can kind of see, is it getting any use? And if it's not getting any use, then we'll tear it down. Since DPW is doing it alone, I don't see why it would be a huge cost differential, but again.
So let me give you a contrary thought on it. I obviously think we should take out the whole tennis courts and DPW can handle that. I do believe we should take out the hitting wall. Leave a hitting wall in the middle of a large field it's only a matter of time before that deteriorates. It's built on the same base as the tennis courts. And it's gonna look funny out there, and I'm really not sure it's used much, if at all. If we have demand for it in the future, we reinstall one here. But for now, I would like to see the land restored to the natural contours of the park, left open as a beautiful park without this concrete thing in the middle. So I'm in favor of taking that as well.
I have to agree with you, Mark. I feel like I watched those relics. What on earth? I mean, what? See Nazi Germany, like Earth, and there's like a big concrete like thing. I think it just will look weird to have like this big concrete thing that nobody knows what it is. Like it looks like a war thing or something. It's just it's out of place and it'll look weird.
I agree.
So consensus to just remove the courts and the wall?
Yeah, I second as well. I think to just have a wall, kind of a standalone. I mean, the wall is auxiliary to the tennis court / maybe paddleboard or even lacrosse, which I agree with. I just don't know if it's going to get much use there, and kind of an eyesore, to be honest with you, and it's also falling apart. I think it's a good point, Jamie.
It's fine. I honestly didn't have a strong opinion, so I'm happy to go with whatever council thinks. I've never used it. I don't see a lot of people using it. I see more kids using it for lacrosse than for. I've never actually seen anyone use it for tennis.
Sure.
But so I'm fine to get rid of everything. But I will say, this area is already going to be pretty packed. So unless we get a lot of feedback, we really miss it. I would say let's hold off.
Oh yeah. It's all in one item.
A second.
Okay. So consensus, everyone?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. Yep. Fishing in the pond. That was.
Yeah, so, we had discussed a year ago, so for long term in the town, we've had a no fishing policy at Liberty Park, and that had originated because there had been a few incidences of the swans, maybe one swan, and I remember one goose who had a fishing hook trapped in their oral cavity. And I saw one personally, and it's really painful, and it's a hassle, it's a very stressful for them, all of those things. It's a cost to the borough to have it removed and so forth. Now that we have fewer, waterfowl, and it seems like, we're getting a slow but steady increase in interest, and obviously we're not enforcing the no fishing. If kids are fishing there all the time, we have to discuss, do we want to actually take it off the books? I feel on this topic, I feel a little wishy-washy because I still see fishing line hanging from the trees, which frustrates me. We do still have some waterfowl there, so there is still that risk. I think the risk is lower. So I'm leaning towards letting fishing occur because when I walk the town a lot, and I see mostly young kids there, but young to teenagers. And it's nice to give the kids a thing, a healthy outdoor activity to enjoy. So I'm definitely leaning towards letting fishing allowed. So removing that signage, changing that ordinance, and allowing it. And obviously, it's not that challenging to put it back if we have concerns about the health and safety of the animals or the, if damage is done to it. That's my opinion.
We had looked at doing it on like a probationary period to assess, but to your point, I think there's been an uptick in the usage since the redevelopment there. So I would say let's just go forward and allow it, remove the signage, and then if it becomes an issue in the future, we can revisit it.
Right, and maybe put some signage in there about cleaning up your fishing line, making sure not to leave, those just kind of guidelines on appropriate care of your equipment in the park.
I
agree, and I also see an opportunity for an excellent article about cleaning up your fishing wire and lines in the PG post.
Yeah.
So,
My guess is people attempt, the ones I see are hanging out over the water, but, yeah.
I think we're a blue-collar community, and I think that it sort of serves the nature of our community. I have very fond memories of fishing with my grandmother, and I think that I would love to see, residents have that same opportunity.
Yeah, there's lots of kids out there, so it is really nice. I'd rather see kids there than sitting with their friends. So.
Yep.
Anyone else? Okay. So I'm hearing the consensus to revoke that ordinance. Steve, maybe put this in your hands, please, to modify the ordinance and present it to us.
Well, modify or repeal.
Yeah, correct. And Jamie, may I ask that you or Eric reach out to Don Dan Dolan
Mhm.
and see if Dan Dolan might come up with a list of rules that we can post in the boards in the park regarding fishing.
Sure.
Please. Okay. So we're good on that. A little bit of a difficult subject to talk about, but I'd like to talk about talk with the council about my plan for the assignment of responsibilities going to be handled by John. After John's passing, we had a difficult meeting with Nancy and Jamie to figure out how we're going to handle things, and I'd like to just mention it to you all, which I'm going to ask for your consent on the first four. As far as the Affordable Housing Committee goes, I will take that over until the end of the year. I've been Affordable Housing Chairman since 2017. I know it probably better than almost anyone in the town. And we still have to get through our final of our own. Good night. Thank you for coming. Jamie, I decided Jamie should go on fire and first aid with Sergio as a second in John's place. And Sergio will go on HR as a second to Jamie. And then Eric will take over as police chair, and I will join him as that because he is in the middle of the CBA negotiations, and that leaves me as the only legacy person who's been through them before. So I think it's best that I join Eric on wrapping that up, and somebody will fill that slot January 1. May I have the council's concurrence on those four appointments?
I concur.
Yes.
Okay. As far as representations and ad hoc, John was a class 2 on land use. Jamie will now move to class 2 on land use, and I will fill my former role as class 1 on land use. We also are going through the deer culling contract. I've asked Jamie to handle that. I've also asked Jamie to work with me on Highlands, which John was formerly working with me on. I'm going to fill in on a series of meetings that John was in the middle of with Bethel Ridge regarding their affordable commitment, as well as something we're going to discuss in executive later on, another settlement. Jamie offered to take on the signage ordinance in the future. Nancy Bretzker, with Steve's help, is going to handle the Comcast franchise negotiations, which are overdue. One thing that council has to come to a conclusion on, and I will be forward and offering my opinion on that, is we do have the opportunity to replace John's seat temporarily from now until the time of the election. At the time of the election, whoever goes on the general ballot, which is on election day, will then take over and fill John's seat for the remainder of his term. The election day is approximately 2 years and just under 2 months. Again, that's a process being handled by the Republican Committee. They'll make a recommendation, somebody will have the endorsement of the committee, and they will run. It doesn't mean somebody from the Democratic Party can't run, that's an opportunity as well. And it doesn't mean an independent can't follow. In all cases, these individuals must get a petition together and collect signatures and present it to the board clerk no later than the afternoon of the 28th.
No, it goes down to the county.
Directly?
It goes directly down to the county.
Oh, you don't take those applications?
I don't take those applications.
Okay, and the 28th is the deadline. Yeah. So it's average. So everyone's aware that's what's required, and you have to get an application, which we have here, they're online, and fill it out. I know because I'm involved in it that the local Republican Party committee is in the process of interviewing and will name somebody. Okay. I don't know about the others yet, nor should I necessarily. It is very preliminary to say this, and I don't have any details for you, Pat, but we will be looking into some sort of memorialization of our friend John. It's something in the borough. I'd like to form a little committee, a subcommittee of council people to make a formal recommendation to us on how we're going to do that. So if you have any interest, let me know. And lastly, there is something called the New Jersey Hall of Fame of mayors and council, and I'm probably not getting that name right, that is run by the New Jersey municipalities. In order to enter the Hall of Fame, you have to have served as mayor for 10 years or as a council person for 20 years. John was 4 months shy of serving for 20 years as a council member. So I am making a special appeal with Steve Warner's help to the NJLM to admit John to that Hall of Fame. Okay? And that's all I have for the legacy of the transition responsibilities for what John was handling. He was handling a lot of it. Moving on, we had a proposal from Sergeant Scanlon for the addition of turning lanes at the intersection of 206 and Pottersville. Who's handling that one? I don't even know who's handling that one. Anybody? No, roads would handle it.
No, that would be me, but that's the first.
Oh, it's your turn, right?
I'm not road anymore, but I could take that on. I would like to do it if you want.
I could take it out too.
Yeah.
Good.
Because I also have some other.
Who's
concerns about
Rose?
speed limits.
I'm Rose. Inheritance.
Just second on roads. It should be on roads.
I am. So we can do it together, Eric, if you want.
Yeah, you can look at it. What did you talk about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so you're aware, this is nothing new. We've had this before us before. I'm guessing Sergeant Scanlon might have needed to have some extra time on that and wrote this report up. But the state is very well aware and has it on their list. We're probably item number 847 to improve that intersection, but there's a lot before it, and we've been told that. The county has also advocated on our behalf regarding that intersection. Interestingly enough, while it's a dangerous intersection, it's a hell of a hard left turn to make. The number of accidents or injuries that we have there, according to the chief, is very low. So people panic. Okay. Moving on. Any discussion on that? All right. So you got that one, Eric. That's on you.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have an application, these are miscellaneous. Application for use in municipal facilities. The library commission is asking for use of this council room. And that application was part of the package. Any discussion?
No.
Are we waiting on the piece, correct?
And some of the dates have already passed that you were.
And they've been
Yeah.
using it.
Yeah.
I
Use it
gave them,
tomorrow.
I gave them permission to use it
Yeah.
since we
No
had a
fees.
meeting in the middle of the month.
No.
Okay, great.
All right, do we have concurrence on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. A raffle license application for Quimby International for 50/50 on the 4th of October. This is, I believe, for the event that Blair's in.
Oh, the Mish?
Mish.
Yeah.
All right. And we did not get paperwork on this, but Nancy can brief us on it.
Everything was received, that was correct, and we just need council consensus, and then we'll send it down to the state for their approval.
Yeah, I think we should.
I have no issue with this. Concurrence?
Concur.
Very good. Well, third item, I would like the council to be aware that I have scheduled on Tuesday, September 16th, a town hall meeting in this room. The purpose of this town hall meeting, because I believe in our transparency, is to brief our residents on the Round 4 affordable housing settlement, and more importantly, to address any concerns and further explain our intentions to the residents of Holland and Maple, those two streets. And I've already heard from a number of residents on Maple who did not understand it, and that's the purpose of having a town hall. So that evening, I will be giving a presentation along with our planner, John Zabel, on basically the Round 4 settlement and how the Trimmer Lane area factors into the Round 4 settlement. And what that means. Settlement.
So it's September 16th, right?
Yes. All right.
Is there a time?
What was that?
Is there a time?
7.
No, right, I didn't think, okay.
And again, I have John Zabel coming to do that. The presentation will be a combination of my slides and his. Okay. I don't have it on the agenda, but I should let you know one additional item under new business or under miscellaneous that we need to be aware of and address. is in my talking to John Zabo the other day regarding our Highlands process. John surprised me and with an announcement that he will be retiring the end of September. So we will need to seek a new planner, or he will simply turn us over to another colleague at Burgess. I'm going to reserve my thoughts on that, but I do believe we have an obligation to interview others, along with the land use board. And either take the person from, I happen to like Dave from Burgess, who's filled in for John a number of times. I don't know if we would get him, but I know that when we were considering moving the Highlands application to somebody else, he provided me with a number of very capable planners, and I wouldn't mind interviewing them. So if anybody would like to work on that with me, I'd love it.
You would need to do, you would need to go out for an RFP with that.
Understood. Yeah, understood.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to bring up, just to kind of have a discussion with the group, last year we put the weight limit going on Overlook Ave, right, because we had the issue with the trucks. We're continuing to have issues, right? It hasn't really done anything, unfortunately. One thing I was looking at walking around one day, is the idea of essentially removing that as a cut-through street and making it a dead end. And so if you are at, just kind of picture it with me, if you're walking on the sidewalk across from the tavern, you're walking past the little retail shops there with the new Fairmount Coffee, when you cross the street, if you can just extend that sidewalk and just take up the blacktop and just plant grass up to where the parking for the housing that's atop that strip mall, that would become a simple dead-end road. People that live on that road, don't cut through it anymore. It's cul-de-sac type style. It gives a decent chunk of grass that we could put back. You've got Main Street and you've got Dewey, so I don't see any nuisance to the residents there or that anyone can get around. It will completely fix that problem, and I think make a better street for the neighbors and those living on that street. But I talked to Bill Ryden, didn't see any issues with doing that.
He thinks it's wide enough to create a cul-de-sac?
Maybe not a cul-de-sac, but I mean, you can.
Hammerhead?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can certainly be a dead end and have enough room there.
Yeah. I mean, you try doing one way, right? You can make it just one way from Main Street down. So I think very few trucks come in from Main Street because it's such a sharp turn. I feel like they come across Potter's Road. So you could make it one way coming down. And that's another option.
Yeah. The part of the problem is when you turn left and go down, it's not as big a deal. It's when you're coming up and then you're going left for big trucks.
That's what I'm saying. Like make it a one way so you can only come down. Make it so no one's going to go up and have to make a left turn. Like no one's ever going to be turning out of there.
Right.
Can we do a survey for the people that actually live on the road to see which they would prefer?
I think what's more important is that a professional endorse one of these options versus what we ask people.
Yeah.
They're not going to have the experience of somebody who knows roads as a professional.
Could be a little bit like South Street, how that sort of dead ends, but there's not necessarily a ton of turn space. The road just sort of stops if we don't have enough space. But that's sort of what I'm envisioning. I don't know.
I'm blanking where's South Street.
It's right off of Mosley.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at it, what's interesting is at the end there's a parking lot, right? Where the dumpsters are and stuff, so you kind of have a little bit more room than you normally would. Just quick Belgian block there, and I think the people that live there would love the fact that they could just play in the front street.
For sure, yeah,
definitely.
Again, that's the only reason to not do a one way. It's just cut it off. I don't think you need it at all, and I don't think it inconveniences anyone to go out and make a left down Dewey or go out and make a right down Main Street.
Right.
An extra 8 seconds.
Right. Does it overly burden Dewey then? I just don't want Dewey to get the issues then, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's a bigger street because you can fit the fire trucks and all that too, which is why we're kind of hoping that the weight limit would push people onto Main Street or Dewey. That was kind of the intent of that.
Right.
I don't think you have a ton of cut-through traffic. It's more people coming off 206, coming out of Pottersville, and then popping up.
Oh, for sure.
So if it forces them to go around.
I may ask, I never considered it when you first mentioned this idea to me. I think I like Jamie's idea one way.
One way?
Yeah. I think that has merit.
Well, I mean, I like his idea. I mean, that's great. one way is just easy and cheap, right? We just make one way and see how it goes.
Lines up.
Right. And see how it goes. It'll still cut that traffic down for those 4 homes and their families significantly. So you can start with that and see how it goes. But
That's easier to start with. It's our roads, we can just make it one way.
we can do whatever we want.
Council?
It's a lot to digest.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot to digest, and then are we setting the tone for anybody that has an issue with their road to essentially change it? That's the thing, are we kind of setting ourselves up for, not that, I agree, trust me, I wish my street was a cul-de-sac, but ultimately, I know there's a lot of usage there as well. That's like a major cut through. I mean, just for simple traffic too.
Yeah.
I just, it's a lot, I'm just trying to process
That's
this.
what I'm trying to get rid of, is being a major customer.
I think we need to, you're right, Mark, I think we need to get a professional to make this determination. Really also line up maybe some kind of traffic flow study where how many cars are going through there and how many actually trucks are going through there, or is just word of mouth, one truck that goes by there. I don't know the weight limits.
Rather than us making a quick decision without full information, Eric, may I charge you with getting in touch with Bill Ryan, Brad Fagan, and the Chief of Police, getting their thoughts on the one-way versus the cul-de-sac, and see if they think of the one-way, and then come back to us with something.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any other miscellaneous new or old business I want to go into one from council?
Mayor, did you need a subcommittee for the planner this evening, or is that something that can wait offline?
Let's hold on that, because I gotta talk to Craig now.
Right, I was gonna say while the municipality can have a separate from the board and vice versa, in my experience, it's best to have the same.
It's gonna make it easier for us, we're small enough that we can have one.
Absolutely.
Having two will be costly and not really good.
I'll be candid, in my experience, and it's fairly vast in this area. It's rare, if ever, that in my opinion, it makes sense to have two separate.
What it does.
Rare, if ever, that makes sense to have two separate, regardless of the size of the municipality.
John's shoes are gonna be big to fill. So, moving on to reading approval of minutes, may I have a motion and second to approve the regular meeting minutes of July 8th?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Portello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Aye.
Councilwoman Sueda? Aye. Councilwoman Weigel?
Aye.
Introduction of ordinance 1158 to 2025 appropriating certain monies held by the borough for the inspection and repair of the forced main line for the shared sewer system in the amount of $120,000. May I have a motion and second to introduce 1158-2025?
So moved. Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Portello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda? Aye. Councilwoman Weigel?
Aye.
Ordinance 1158-2025 is introduced and shall be published in summary in the Burnsville News, and the public hearing for said ordinance shall be held on September 23rd, 2025 at 7 o'clock p.m. shortly thereafter. Moving on to resolutions. May I ask everybody to take a look and see which resolution should be pulled for a second, for an independent vote or separate vote, and over consent. I can tell you right now, 142-25 regarding council president, this is what I referred to as one other item here to address.
That's the only one I was going to pull.
Okay, and just look at the remainder of them. If you have any questions, if you want to pull any of them for any reason.
Pull 147, please.
Okay. suppose we should vote 153 as well.
That's fine.
Okay. All right, may I have a consent vote for resolutions 143 through 146, 148 through 151, and 154 through 156.
154 or 155?
I'm sorry, 155, that's correct. 155 through 156.
You want 152 also, as the consent.
Okay, I said that, I went to 151. Let me start over.
Sorry to do this, can I pull 142, 25?
Yeah,
We
That's
did.
the one we already pulled.
That's already
Let
pulled,
me start
okay.
over. A consent vote, I'll start all over. 143-25 through 146-25, 148-25 through 152-25, 155-25 through 156-25, and 159-25 through 161-25.
Except for 157 and 158.
He did that, he excluded
Oh,
those.
he excluded,
Yeah,
okay.
Roll call vote when you're ready. Oh, and your motion is second, I'm sorry.
I motion.
Second.
Thank you.
All right, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Murphy,
Yes.
Councilman Portella,
Aye.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda, Councilwoman Weibel.
Aye.
Okay, let's start with 142-25. May I please have from the council nominations for council president to fill John Sweeney's position?
I'd like to nominate Jamie Murphy.
I second that nomination.
I'd like to nominate Eric Cortello.
I second that.
Okay. All right, council, you're gonna have to advise. How do I handle this?
The vote is on the first. The vote is on the first nominee to be seconded, which happens to be the first nominee to be nominated. So the vote is first on Jamie. If it is a majority, Jamie Murphy will be the council president. If it's not, then we would have a roll call vote on the second nominee.
Okay. And if it's seconded and voted upon with a majority, is that how it works?
Correct.
Okay, very good. May I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 142-25 appointing Jamie Murphy as council president?
So,
Second. Okay, roll call vote, please, Nancy.
Councilwoman Murphy,
Abstain.
you can vote for yourself.
You can vote for yourself.
I'll vote for myself.
Councilman Portella,
Aye.
Councilman Silva,
Can I abstain from this?
If you have a reason why you need to abstain, you can abstain.
You can.
Your vote will go with would have the effect of going with the majority.
I'm expecting such a quick decision. Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda,
Nay.
Councilwoman Weibel.
Nay.
Okay, so that's 3 votes,
3-2.
correct, and it passes, correct?
Passes.
Congratulations, Council President. Okay. Moving on, let's go to 147-25. This is a resolution to approve the construction of the tennis and pickleball courts at the complex in the amount of $520,000. A motion and second, please, to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So I guess I just wanted to bring it up because it's a big thing and we're in a meeting. And so it's basically a resolution to move forward with the tennis project, $520,000 project, and that those monies are planning to come out of our open space fund, which currently has a balance of approximately $1.8 million. So we have the money. It fits with the goal of the ordinance, which is open space and recreation. But I just felt like it was an important thing to just to kind of. I'm sorry, she did pull it, but I had marked it. So Julie, say your piece too. Sorry.
Sure, this is helpful. Thank you. So I didn't really see anything that they were talking about as far as maintenance goes. Is there a maintenance contract that they provide when you agree to, implement one of their?
So they can do it. The maintenance is actually far unlimited. It's like every 10 years. Which they can provide. And Bill Ryden actually went out and looked at a couple of the systems that were 15 and 20 years old and was like, wow, these things are in really great shape. He was generally impressed by it. So yes, they offer the maintenance. Yes, we can use them. It's simple enough because it's a post-test concrete. It's not the special asphalt and stuff they had previously. So it's something that honestly another coat of paint that they're going to put on is kind of all it needs. Obviously DPW can just make sure the leaves stay off of it and things like that. But yeah, maintenance is minimal on the system, hence the reason for trying to go with something that'll be more durable.
Right, so then, in other words, there's not really something like annual maintenance that would be required, or it doesn't make sense to do anything with that. And the other question that I had was, the following is the responsibility of others. That seems like a very long list to me, and my concern was related to drainage or anything else that would really sort of up the cost of what we're looking at all in to get this project completed.
The only thing that may be incremental, if you want to speak to it, and we'll see once it's in, it shouldn't have a drainage problem, but we did look at having a drain put in along the perimeter, and we also looked at potentially putting up a row of evergreens or something to help, one, with view and just sound also. But we won't, I don't think, know that until it's in the ground and we kind of see it.
Right. Well, we had Bill Ryden take a look because we had the same concerns, kind of going right to the edge of that slope.
Right.
And so he talked about, I forget, what's the drain called where you kind of did the stone?
French drain.
I don't know the French drain, but they called it something else. But basically to help with the drainage, because there is that concern. But we mentioned putting trees in and root systems to help with the water as well as the noise and the view. And so we'll have to address them as they come. We can't be quite sure. He thinks it's going to be fine. But, it's a possibility for sure. And just to add to the comment that Eric has made, I asked the question when Eric and I met with the Classic Turf people, and if we do that repainting in 10 years, we get another guarantee. So it's guaranteed for 10 years. You do that paint, and they forget it might have only been 5 years after that. There was an extension to it if you have them repaint it. So they're very confident in how it lasts, and it is impressive when you look at. And Sergio, I know you have firsthand experience with that.
Yeah, they're a very reliable company. They've been honest and upfront with their warranty promises, and I've had experience with them where we've had now for over a decade, and they did come in and patch it up, and it looks brand new. So I do agree that company's very reliable and a reputable company that's been doing it for quite some time.
Let me say this to your concerns. The document we received from them is a quotation. It is not a contract. This still needs to be contracted. Okay? And I trust that between Nancy and Steve Warner, that contract will be properly vetted to ensure the right mention of warranties and the like are put in there. Furthermore, I would suggest that we require this to go before permitting, just like anybody else installing anything in this town. And the reason why is because that will trigger a review of the plans and how they intend to build it. We'll also force them not to come in and pour concrete, but rather to put a plan together. We'll waive the fees on the permitting, but I do think it should be permitted and go through the construction process, like any other construction, like the library, for example. All right. So, and I think everyone will concur that's fair.
Yeah.
Correct, and I also like the fact that they're going to be completing the pickleball project as well. Mm-hmm. So, and pickleball is fairly new, even though it's been around for quite some time. It's fairly new, and due to popularity over the last couple of years. But they're the ones who started pickleball outdoor courts, so they kind of took the initiative. So they've been doing pickleball courts for almost 2 decades. So at least they have some history behind that.
Can I say one more thing? Although I think Julie, you bring up a good point. We're budgeting exactly what the quote is. And this is gonna require some landscaping, and it's gonna require maybe a gravel path walking up to it or something like that, which is going to incur a cost. So maybe the council might want to consider upping the amount, say at $540,000, to cover the incidental costs related to this. I say that because we just ran into an issue with the library where we now need a new fire system, the entire building, because the library is not compatible with our old fire system. We're looking at that expense. So there's gonna be some extra expenses associated that we never figured. And we'll figure out the fire system. That's relatively minor compared to this big project. I might suggest that we modify this and maybe up it a little bit to cover the incidentals.
Can I bring something up too about, I know there was residents concerned about the noise, maybe right behind the municipal building. And I know it's been back and forth, putting a pickleball over on Coal Mine and here and this and that. Is there maybe a soundproofing court? Maybe there's better, something that would be less loud. Is that something that anyone's heard of? Maybe.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't think it's the actual court, it's the paddle.
Oh, it's the paddle.
Right.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not the actual court.
Yeah, it's the dink of the paddle
Okay.
with the wiffle ball. But they did mention, again, when Eric and I met them, they mentioned there was something you could do with fencing.
Yeah, so when the fencing goes up, there's a membrane we can look at, that can also, I don't know if it's transparent or not, that's the thing, that you can put up that can help with that as well. They did say too, they specifically recommended doing the trees because that'll help dampen a lot that comes through. Plus, we're putting it on the very, very far end, so right next to the basketball courts.
Yeah.
So you have the two pickle, then you have the tennis, then you have the tree line, so it's, a little bit more removed, so.
And I was looking at the other day, the fence line of, where that's, on top of the, playground.
Yeah.
There is kind of space between the playground and the fence line for the houses that feasibly you could do like, arborvitae or something right there.
Yeah.
So we might be able to do 2 layers if there's space, like right by the tennis courts as well as there. Start with one, see how it goes, and then add a second layer.
I like the idea of arborvitae.
You got a comment?
Yes, we can't up this resolution another $20,000 because this is specifically for field turf.
It doesn't say it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Oh,
It does.
like
It's
field turf,
specifically
yeah.
for field turf, so
Okay,
we
so
can't
we'll have
up
to
that.
do something.
So we would have to do another resolution for that additional 20,000 for whoever we're gonna get to plant the trees or
Fine.
or whatever. So, but we can do that.
Okay.
That would not affect this resolution here.
Yeah, I see it now.
Are we also looking at lighting?
We're not gonna let it,
No.
no, it'll be a dusk to dawn,
Okay.
dawn to dusk,
Okay.
dusk to dawn, sorry.
Thank you.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Councilman Cortello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda?
Aye.
Councilwoman Waddle?
Aye.
Nancy, regarding the additional amount for the trees and the like, is that something we want to put on the next agenda or do it now verbally?
We can put that on the next agenda because that is something that will take after this. We have to get quotes and stuff like that also for whatever trees we want or the drainage. We need to have that.
Moving on. Let's do a consent vote for resolutions 153-25 and 154-25. These two resolutions are accepting a donation of $100,000 from Dr. Cesar de Paco, the CEO and founder of Summer Nutrition, for the purchase of a Tahoe, and the following resolution to approve the purchase of a Chevy Tahoe for the police department.
So moved.
Okay.
Okay, discussion.
I just wanted to confirm, this is the 2025 Chevy Tahoe, that would be the chief's car? Is that what we talked about? Or is
No.
it
No, it's gonna be patrol.
Patrol, and then what's gonna be the chief's car?
The one we just took delivery of.
Yeah, early in the year, we approved the replacement of the chief.
Yes, but I hadn't seen it, so I just didn't know.
Exactly.
So I honestly just didn't know, so that's why I wanted to play, so thank you.
That's it?
That's it,
Roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Murphy?
yes.
Councilman Cortello?
Aye.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda?
Aye.
Councilwoman Waddle?
Aye.
Very good. I believe that covers us in all the resolutions. Let's move on to Bill's list. This is approval of bills and, payment of claims. Does any council member have any item on the bill list that would seem for discussion?
No.
Seeing none, Nancy, will you please read the total amount of bills to be paid?
$1,146,844.31.
Okay, motion second to approve the resolution for the payment of bills.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Cortello. Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda.
Yes.
Councilwoman Weigel.
Aye.
Okay, bill payment passes. Let's move on to council reports. Does any council member have a report specific to their chair?
I do. I have actually two. I have one for SOAR and one for the health department.
Okay, go for it.
So let's start off with SOAR. On Tuesday, July 15th at 10:30, we had a break in the 10-inch force main that transfers all flow from Miller Lane to the New Jersey American Treatment Facility. Flow through the main was restored by 7 a.m. and the final repair process was completed around 8 p.m. on Wednesday, July 16th. The Department of Transportation inspector required us to wait until the blacktop reached a temperature of 170 degrees before we could reopen the road. The Department of Transportation provided lane closure until we could mobilize a traffic control team to replicate their work zone closure. This was required as per DOT inspector. The break was found located 10 feet south of the last break, which was in October. Montana Construction was utilized to make the emergency repairs because our previous vendor was unavailable. Some differences during the event were that the DOT required us to provide all traffic control to their requirements and also pavement restoration extended into the lane of travel, triggering different restoration requirements as pointed out earlier. We replaced 30 feet of pipe and service was restored without interruption. We had a staff meeting to discuss like the best next steps because this seems to be an ongoing issue with pipe issues. And so we brought up that we were interested in if our insurance actually covers anything like an instance like this, and they said that they hadn't, but what they did was they ended up contacting the insurance adjuster again, and they're providing some information from the town engineer to see if possibly the additional information would warrant a re-examination of the initial claim and the subsequent claim. Staff agreed that the next step in dealing with the source system is something called smart ball technology, which is an acoustic check where they drop a ball down the pipe and it's there to detect leaks, and this is like an acoustic process. So it bears noting that the test is unable to determine the condition of the pipe, but can give, it will give like certain sounds off if something is going on with a leak. So the estimated cost of the smart ball technology test is $140,000. And right now, each repair is around $70,000. Our responsibility based upon flow is the largest, and that's right around 67%. And so we're moving forward on this to sort of determine if we can gather some more information. Any questions? Okay. And then I recently met with Don Marling of the health department, and she's relatively new in the position. She's been there for about a year now. And I attended a session here that was held at the Borough Administration Building. They're offering more and more sessions, informational sessions for the community, which is great. This particular session was on diabetes, which was very helpful. They brought in a health professional from Summit Medical Group. That was good. It wasn't super well attended, but we're hoping that now we're getting the word out that there will be more, in fact, sessions available for our community. And being that, Berners Township serves a number of communities, we think that this will be something like a good way of communicating with our residents and the residents of surrounding towns in the future. I'm working with Dawn to have a sort of a senior services discussion at my church, which is St. Luke's here in Gladstone. And we're looking at a winter date for that, where we're going to do some good publicity for it and see if we can get out a number of people and just be supportive of them.
Okay, very good, good updates. Thank you. Anyone else on committee updates?
So one quick thing just for everyone on the police negotiations. Obviously, the events with John postponed our latest round of negotiation with the police. Mark and I are, will take it over, and our goal is to coordinate calendars and potentially meet with them prior to the end of August to get their proposal, and then hopefully wrap this up in September. So just a little early, a quick update.
Okay. Thank you, Eric. Anyone else? I have one item, and I'll throw something else on Eric's plate. I get the newsletter from Burnsville. Unlike our newsletter, Mayor, Mary Jane, does a newsletter on her own, and it's a big fault of the mayor's newsletter. And there's something in it that caught my eye, and I'm going to read it to you. Burnsville has something called a PACE program for automobiles, and considering how many complaints that we get regarding speeding in town, I thought this might be something worth looking into. I don't know if it will work here or not. I'm going to read it to you. It's not long. Burnsville to launch PACE car program to promote safer streets. Can one driver make a difference? We think so. In September, the borough introduced the Burnsville PACE car program initiative designed to promote safer streets for drivers, pedestrians, and bicyclists alike. The program encourages residents to take an active role in traffic safety by pledging to drive responsibly, obviously in town, and displaying a Burnsville PACE car magnet on their vehicle. She then mentions thank you to a number of people who were involved in it for their assistance, and they're introducing it on their website shortly. And then they show a picture of a little round magnet about so big. This is Burnsville PACE car program. At first glance, this makes some sense to me, because if we can get our residents to follow the speed limit in town, and they're driving, they will set the pace for other cars that may not be residents in speed in town. So Eric, because your roads, I'm going to pass this one on to you.
Yeah, I actually like the idea.
I'll send you a copy of the newsletter on email. I think it's an interesting concept, and it might have some value, but I think it has some applicability. So if you look into that, information that comes from the future.
I will. Thank you for sharing.
Yep.
While we're on that subject, it goes hand in hand. A couple months ago, we were successful with Main Street lowering the speed limit from 45 to 35 in front of Navarre. I had some residents reach out, in particular Main Street, heading in onto Mendon Road, who have put in several complaints about people speeding. As you're kind of pulling out of town around that turn towards Gilson Bernard's, people are just flooring it. So I would like to put on the table that potentially I'm going to start doing some research as we can lower that speed limit as well to match kind of going out of town.
So it's 30.
That's 35.
That's 30.
30.
Oh, 30?
30.
Okay, and they want to just lower it to 25. I'm not sure if would make a difference.
Yeah, we just did a speed study there, like what, last year?
Yeah, well, I've done it every year since I've been on council.
Yeah. And initially, when I did this speed study as well there, it was presented to us. It wasn't worth lowering it, but we still went ahead and did it, and we see tremendous improvement. And we've got multiple emails and thank yous, essentially. I understand the speed report, but sometimes data doesn't align with what some residents are seeing.
Well, and they remember the outliers, understandably.
Yeah, there could be two cars speeding that will potentially harm someone. So.
I mean, the outcome of the result that we did through the center of town was that basically the data showed we should increase.
Right.
And we said, all right, we don't want to do that. So, I'm hesitant sometimes when it's a county road, not our road, which it is.
Sure.
It's 30. I don't think lower at 5 miles an hour. Personally, just from experience, I don't think it would do anything. We've looked at the rumble strips and things, but then again, the noise that would be right there on the phone, you have that as well. So, and I know Steve and Tom have officers stationed there often. I see it, but again, we can't have people there 24 hours a day. You're going to have the outliers that whoever's going to rip by. So, if it continues to be an issue, we can always look at it more or station more officers there more frequently. But that's a tough spot just because where it goes out to. I'm happy we were able to lower that whole, so it's 25 in Far Hills now, and then 35 all the way through, and then 25. So that's been a big improvement, I think.
Watch out for hills, they're pulling people over.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
Okay. Any other committee reports? Let's move on to Mayor's executive summary. Steve Warner, you're handling the fishing ordinance, correction,
Thank you.
change. Jamie, you're speaking to Dan on developing a set of rules for fishing. Eric, you're working on the Pottersville Road turn lane proposal. You're also working on the one-way analysis versus cul-de-sac on overload. And you're also handling the pace, the end of the pace program, so you'll be on that. Nancy, you're gonna put a resolution on for additional improvements related to tennis courts for our next meeting. I'm thinking about it even more, and I put 3,000 in my mind. Okay, and open space. Those are the punch list items, other than the ones, the individual ones I mentioned to you regarding John's succession. Moving to public comments on agenda items. If anybody wishes to address the council on any item that we discussed tonight, we're happy to hear you. Carol, smile. Come on, Carol. Come on. Hearing none, I'll close public comment. We now need to move into executive session. So may I please have a motion and second to move into executive session? This is resolution 158-25.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Murphy.
Yes.
Councilman Cortella.
Aye.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sueda.
Aye.
Councilwoman Waddle.
Okay, very important that I always forget to mention this. Action may or may not be taken after the end of the executive session. So, we respectfully ask you to leave the room. You're welcome to wait till the end if you want. Just tell us and we can get you. But we thank you all for coming tonight. We also thank you for coming to honor our friend John.
Thank you, you did a lovely job. Very nice. Thank you.